My Lords, my first public appointment was 25 years ago when I joined the New Deal Task Force in what was then the Department of Employment, which then became the National Employment Panel in the Department of Work and Pensions. And our sole purpose was getting people from welfare to work. And right up front, I asked the Noble Lord, the Minister, is there such an initiative now in government with the pure objective of helping people get from welfare to work, because work is good, not only in enabling people to earn money, but also good for well-being, good for health, good for mental health, as the Noble Lord, Lord Laird, has spoken about. And I thank the Noble Lord, Lord Bridges and his Economic Affairs Committee for their report, Where Have All the Workers Gone, published, as the Noble Lady Noak said, in December 2022. And as Noble Lord, Lord Bridges said in his excellent opening speech, the answer is that the UK's workforce has been squeezed by 4 factors: retirement amongst those aged 50 to 64, increasing sickness, changes in the structure of migration, and the impact of an aging UK population. We've had the latest labour market statistics hot off the press on the 5th of February, where we know that unemployment is now at 3.9%. My Lords, that is fantastic. That is a really low rate. It is back to where it was before the pandemic, but we have this figure of 9.25 million people aged 16 to 64 who were economically inactive, revised up from 8.68 million. The Learning and Work Institute, the report says, and I quote, "Since the pandemic, if the UK had matched the economic activity rate growth of Australia, France or Netherlands, there would be an additional 1 million people in the UK workforce." And the Noble Lord, Lord Skidelsky, in his excellent speech, he pointed to page 13, which is a graph after graph of country after country that shows that other countries have recovered, and we're still up there with our graph very high of economically inactive people. So we have not done as well as other countries have done. My friend Andy Haldane, the Chief Executive of the Royal Society of Arts, of which I'm a fellow, has said, having been a strong tailwind for 2 centuries, health is now a strengthening headwind to UK economic growth for perhaps the first time since the Industrial Revolution. And Lord Skidelsky said in his speech, Britain is the sickest country in Europe. And every day in the press today, we hear about the crisis in dentistry. The UK spends barely £3 billion of the NHS budget on dentistry. My Lords, that is shocking. In real terms, it has fallen by 33% because it's the same level it was in 2010 when the current government came to power. And the overall national health budget is 170 billion. Why are teeth less important? And the agony that every one of us has experienced with teeth pain, and here, dentistry is not free at the point of delivery. Dentistry is you have to pay for it. It's expensive if you go privately. And the NHS is meant to provide a service for everyone on demand. The reality is different, and the latest is 9 out of 10 practices are not accepting new adult patients. I'm the Chancellor of the University of Birmingham. One of my proudest moments in my tenure was when we opened our brand new dentistry school in the old Pebble Mill site of the BBC, and Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, came to open that school. Now, do you know we only have 1,000 dental school places available each year? If we don't put health first, we are going to be the sickest nation in Europe. The report speaks about the furlough scheme and the effect of lockdown on early retirement. As president of the CBI, the Confederation of British Industry, I was one of the first people during the pandemic, as early as August 2020, to ask the government to provide free lateral flow tests to everyone at home and in the workforce, therefore preventing lockdowns. And I'm convinced we could have avoided lockdowns 2 and 3 if we'd used those lateral flow tests earlier. If you remember, by the time we started using them in December 2021 and January 2022, we ran out of them. We were using them so much. And Oxford University conducted a test in schools in 2021 in the summer, published in July, which proved very clearly that effective use of lateral flow tests could control spreading of the disease. And we didn't do it early enough. And to my knowledge, the COVID inquiry, costing so much money, taking so much time, is not even looking into this aspect. So many operations could have taken place. So many children could have not missed out on school, and university students not missed out on university, and we wouldn't have a 13 million waiting list at the moment. On immigration, the committee noted that the end of the EU free movement and the introduction of the UK's points-based visa scheme had changed the structure of UK immigration. The committee said that many lower-paid roles in the economy, such as agriculture, hospitality and care, had previously been filled by EU workers, but the new immigration system prioritises skilled workers. The report said that this had contributed to a mismatch in the labour force, accentuating labour shortages in those sectors. And in my own business with Cobra Beer, the hospitality industry, we supply 7,000 restaurants. It's a £54 billion industry in terms of tax receipts alone, employing 3.5 million people. And the changes to the immigration system set to be implemented in April, such as the minimum salary needed to get a skilled worker visa, will rise from £26,200 to £38,700. This will further shrink the talent of good people the hospitality business needs. The reality is 75% of hospitality jobs are actually domestic, but we still need to recruit from abroad. So how is our economy meant to grow without access to labour? Lord Bridge spoke about the record 740,000 net migration figure. But I say, as Chancellor of Birmingham, I say as President of UKISA, I say as co-chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group on International Students, why does the government keep including international students in the net migration figure? Other countries treat them as temporary migrants. We should exclude international students from the net migration figures. We have a low-growth economy. We have high debt at 100% of GDP. We have high government spending. We have low productivity, as Noble Lord Ronsworth said. And what nobody else has mentioned is we have the highest tax burden in 70 years. And high taxes, freezing of the thresholds, affects everybody. It is a disincentive to work. We need to reduce our taxes. That will help people get back to work as well. So I do hope that I have now answered the Noble Lord Skedelse's mystery of where have all the work has gone.
My Lord, as a member of the committee which produced this report, I too would like to thank our chairman,